Hi you guys, it's Stephanie again. It's the same day as the last video, but this one should go much faster. I have everything prepared, papers chosen, everything's inked up. We just need to put it together. So what will take the most time is making sure that I get it all down in the right order. After the video, I had lunch and it took a very long time for the video to upload. So did that, and I got a request from a friend. Well, okay, let me tell you what I'm doing first. Oh shoot, you guys, there's a side I didn't ink. So here we go. I'll talk to you guys about my friend while I'm inking. I don't know if this is still happening all over the country or not, but I know it was a while back. Well, I know it was for sure throughout our state, but I think it was a countrywide thing where when people graduated from high school, they had to do this like huge senior year project. I don't know, maybe it wasn't a countrywide thing, but anyhow, it was statewide. And they actually did get rid of it, but the school district that my kids are in still require it. And I don't know exactly everything that's in it because the kids do it themselves and they get the help of counselors at school and stuff like that. But it's this long, involved process that they go through, and it's supposed to get them geared up for what's next. Okay, the first thing that we're doing is we're going to add the same sort of flap that we did on the other side. And it's going to have a pocket in it. I want to go ahead and glue that down first. So they need to have letters of recommendation in their presentation that they turn in. And they do this senior interview with, I don't know, like a school board member, a community member, and a teacher, I think it is. It's kind of stressful for the kids, but I mean, good practice, I guess. So this does not need to be cut this way. It was actually a mistake that I made when I was putting stuff together, but I just left it because it's going to be glued down and covered up. Anyway, my neighbor is graduating this year, and her mom asked if I would write a letter of recommendation. They have to have letters of recommendation. And she asked if I would write one for her daughter, and it's so sweet. When we moved here, I'm telling you, there couldn't be nicer people than the people who live on my street. I mean, I guess maybe one or two, but literally like the first day, if not the first, the second day that we got here, our neighbors come across the street. I was outside weeding, and because we didn't have any of our furniture or anything, so there was absolutely nothing I could do in the house. So I was outside weeding, and the neighbor comes over and introduces herself and says, we're putting in a swimming pool and it's going to be open soon and you guys can come over and swim, and I've got a couple of kids, and oh, they're close to your kids' age, it looks like, and just very sweet, So her daughter is, graduating, so she'll be 18 this summer, and she's been friends with my daughter since literally that day. So it's been 13 years. And the first year of kindergarten, when we first moved here, the first year of kindergarten was 2 days a week and then a half a day on Friday. And so since they were just right across the street from us and her mom worked from home, she would come to my house and play with my daughter, who was at the time 4. And so I had her at my house, you know, half the time. And she was just the sweetest, you know, sweetest little girl. And it just kind of made me want to cry, you know, because I'm like, can it be already? 13 years have gone by and she's graduating from high school and I'm writing a letter of recommendation to put into her senior portfolio. So sweet and kind of emotional. They grow up so fast, even when they're not your kids. But anyway, it sounds silly to say, you know, letter of recommendation from just a neighbor, but, you know, I mean, she's a good kid. And so I could speak on that. I mean, I let my daughter get in the car with her and go to Spokane. That says something, because like I've told you guys, I'm a worrywart and I trust her, you know. Okay, on this one, I'm just going to do a pocket on top. So I have another piece of the yellow file folder and then just some decorative paper that's going to go on top. Anyway, but yeah, I've watched her with her friends and she's just the sweetest. And since they were she's older than my daughter, sometimes her friends didn't want to play with my daughter, which is totally understandable. I was a kid once too, and you didn't want to play with the little kids. You wanted to play with people your own age. I get that. But she was always so inclusive, and she was like, no, we need to let Emily play too. She's my friend, you know, that sort of a thing. And then, I mean, she's just so kind-hearted and sweet and gentle. And I used to be a substitute teacher in the area. So, I mean, she was just, I was able to see her as a student, and there were school projects that I led, a couple of like academic team type things that I was the coach for. And one year she was on my team. And so I was able to speak to that. So it wasn't just like the neighbors writing me a nice letter sort of a thing. I'm somewhat qualified, I think, to speak on more than just her niceness. Anyway, I mean, it was touching, you know, to have them ask me, and then also just to think about how much time has gone by, and that I've watched her from the sweetest, tiniest little girl to she's now taller than me and honestly probably a nicer person than I am and all of that. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing this afternoon. When I finished that, then I also was working on getting these papers prepared. But anyway, just thinking about old memories. My daughter just absolutely adored her too, and still does. I mean, they still hang out together and stuff. One of the things, you know, kids will talk in code sometimes, and they'll make up words to mean something else, and they would plan to have a donkey fly. A donkey fly, I think is what it was. And they finally told me what it was, that a donkey fly meant a sleepover. I don't know why, you know, I don't know that any of the words had anything to do with the other, or if it was just completely random, you know, choice of words. But I asked them one time not too long ago if they were planning a donkey fly, and they started laughing because they had forgotten that they made that up at one point. But so every once in a while I'll get a picture of my daughter that I've never seen before because she spent so much time at their house, and then I have pictures of their daughter because of how much time that she's spent over here. And lots of summer days in their pool and all of that. It's good to have them grow up, but it's also sad. And it just does happen so fast. Sometimes when you're going through it, it doesn't seem like it's fast. But when it's all done, it's very, very fast. I think it's, for my daughter, it's really quick. She'd rather it would slow down. She would go backwards if she could. Teenage years are not easy. Okay. Need a little bit of ink. Anyway, kind of a fun afternoon reminiscing. So they're going to be empty nesters. They just had 2 kids, and the older one graduated, I think 2 years ago. Gosh, maybe even 3 now. My goodness. And he's, moved out and has an apartment. I mean, he's just in town, so he's not too far away or anything, but gone, moved out. And then the daughter that's just now graduating this year, she wants to go to school on the other side of the mountains. So she'll like really be gone. Not just a half an hour drive away. And so, yeah, they'll be looking for something to do. No, not really. They're very fun-loving people, always active, out doing something, camping and all that kind of stuff. So they won't be bored. Okay, so I glued this down first so that I could put this pocket down on top of it. But before I glue this pocket down, okay, this is going to be the liner back behind the pocket. I wanted to have a good space to get something in and out of. Okay, so let's glue this down. The one thing that is stressful to me about doing all of this stuff on the cover is that I have to come up with more tags and decorations. What I find easy is putting papers together and putting pockets on and all of that. I find that not challenging. I enjoy it, I'm not saying it's not challenging and I don't enjoy it. I totally enjoy it, but it's not hard and it doesn't take me a long time. I don't have to think a real long time about it. But when it comes to decorating all of those pockets and pages, that does take me a long time. And so I'm creating a lot of work for myself right now. All right, so this is going to go on top of this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Again, on these things, I did not measure. I just marked with the pencil, lined things up and just kind of marked and cut. And I used my envelope punch board to do, this stuff again. Same exact way as the previous video. I'm awfully behind on videos right now. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys get like this, but sometimes there are so many ideas and I can't do them all. And I start getting really stressed and I'm like, I can't watch one more video right now because I want to stop what I'm doing and maybe do it or something like it, and then it makes me, I don't know. I don't know. I overthink it or something. I don't know what I do, but so sometimes I have to take a little break because, yeah, it stresses me out. It's like too many things to do, even though it's just supposed to be fun. Like, well, yeah, it's fun, but if I don't do that right now, I'll forget and I'll never do it. I know I can save the videos, but you know, I save the videos and then there's 50 more waiting that just got made that I also need to watch. I don't know. You guys are probably the same way. Okay, so I'm going to do some little flip out things, and they're going to be attached onto here. Let me go ahead and glue the paper down onto them. It'll probably be easier to do it this way. So yeah, now I'm trying to catch up because I pretty much haven't watched videos in a couple of days. So now I'm trying to catch up on people who I watch quite often. And again, so many wonderful ideas. I'm getting really warm in the house. I feel like I'm gonna have to stop wearing long sleeve shirts. I've been kind of hot all day long. Okay. So I was telling you my husband was out of town and, you know, and he's back now. So that means I have to figure out dinner. Isn't that awful? It's not like he demands it or anything like that, but I figure it is a nice thing for me to do since he's the one that, what's this song? He brings home the bacon and I'm the one that's frying it up in the pan. I mean, he's the one that earns the money, and so I probably should try and cook him some food. My kids are like, yeah, you don't have to cook anything, Mom. I'll just eat something. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But poor Tim. First of all, he doesn't cook well, so I don't blame him for not wanting to eat his own cooking. I remember the first time the only time he ever tried to cook for me. He can grill meat out on the grill, and that's fine. But cooking, there are two things he tried to cook for me. He knew that I liked apple pie, so he made me an apple pie one time and brought it to work for me. And it wasn't good, but a very sweet gesture. And then he invited me to dinner at his house one time. And I don't remember what it was. Chicken and some noodle concoction. It was awful. I'm like, thanks. And he was proud of himself, but it wasn't good. So the poor boy needs someone to cook him a meal. He likes chicken, rice, and broccoli. Have I told you guys that before? Chicken, rice, and broccoli. He would eat it every day, and he would be perfectly happy with it. I remember telling him one time, that I was like, if I never eat chicken again in my life, I'll be just fine with that. He loves it. What I wish that I had was, I like salads, but I hate making them. And if I had something mixed up and in the fridge all the time, but that was fresh, I would eat it for every meal during the day. But I just don't like making them. You know, it's like cleaning it all up, cleaning up the vegetables and chopping them all up and that sort of thing. And then you can't mix it all together because it'll make one part of it mushy or one part of it something. And, you know, putting tomatoes in the fridge makes a tomato nasty and that sort of thing. So, but, you know, I mean, I would eat that sort of thing every day, all day. If only I could have a live-in chef to do that for me and who liked to do that, because I'm really not convinced that even if they are chefs, they'd want to do that. But I did make a salad yesterday that is quite delicious. It's just a recipe I found on Pinterest, and I'd been looking at it for weeks thinking I need to make that, but I didn't have the ingredients. And it was just like a coleslaw type of a salad, but with the Asian-y type dressing. It's really good. I like that it's, you know, real crunchy. Okay, I'm hoping I'm kind of where I need to be. It could go up a little, but it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. Just want it to be straight. So it called for more things than I had or wanted to go and buy. One thing that I absolutely love is cilantro, but it goes bad so fast. It's not expensive, but you know, you go and you buy it and they give you this bunch, and I'm the only one in the house that eats it. I cannot eat that much cilantro. And so it was, you know, it was called for in the salad, but I didn't add that. So it was just cabbage. I did 2 kinds of cabbage, and then carrots and quinoa, and of course it called for cilantro and onions, but I don't like to eat onions raw. I like the way they taste, but I cannot get the taste out of my mouth afterwards, and I actually, believe it or not, I have a hard time sleeping after I've eaten onions raw. Cooked ones are fine. Called for onions, and I don't remember what else, but I just did the 2 kinds of cabbage, carrots, and quinoa. And then the dressing had rice vinegar or rice wine vinegar and olive oil and sesame oil. I love sesame oil. And honey, ginger, and garlic. I did not put nearly as much garlic as it called for, because that's another thing that I can't get the taste out of my mouth for days. And it actually, it's weird that I cannot sleep with both onion and garlic if I've eaten it raw. It's horrible and weird. Okay, so those are going to open like this. And I had to put those on before I put it in the book. So I'm going to put Fabri-Tac here because it's going to be glued down to the fabric. So I had that salad for dinner last night, and I had a little bit of chicken. Little bit, like 4 bites. And I had the salad for lunch. I'll probably have the rest of it for dinner. And nobody else wants it. So it's all mine. Let's see here. I need that. I just need to see where my fold is. So it's kind of where I want it to be. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. I didn't want it too close to the fold in the spine. Okay. So we'll have a pocket here and a pocket here, and a pocket here. And then the front has the pocket here, and then the pages. And there is a pocket here, but you know, this is poked down inside. Okay, and then I'm gonna decorate these, and then of course there's writing on them. Okay, and then the pages, like I said before, if you watched the last video, I have the first signature mostly done. But I wanted to make this the book cover so I knew kind of what I was gonna do next. I just kind of felt like I couldn't make a decision next. So that's what's gonna be next to those pages. And even though it's like tons of pattern, and I just think it goes okay. I hope you guys do too. And then this will be the center, and I'll do something here. And then this will be the front when you open the front. So I think it's looking pretty good. And then once I get the second signature full of things, it'll, you know, fatten it up and stuff like that. So anyway, there we go. Much shorter video than the last one. And I have got to figure out my cover next. Thanks for watching, you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.